Better Together podcast.
Welcome to the Better Together podcast from the Fuquay Varina Chamber of Commerce. We are recording today from the Dashmore Conference Room, sponsored by Rescued Wood Rehab. The Better Together podcast highlights local businesses each week as the Fuquay Varina Chamber of Commerce continues to promote an amazing business community. I'm Marty Woodward from Rescued Wood Rehab, and I'm joined by the king of burpees, my co-host, Brad Marshall from Greater Culture CrossFit here in Fuquay Varina. You'll have to share about the burpees in another show.
Yeah, we'll cover that in an upcoming episode.
Wonderful.
Well, I'm really excited because today we're joined by Radhesh, who folks might know you as a board member here with the Chamber of Commerce. They might know you as somebody who's been heavily involved in Quaint Plaza, which is a new and vibrant place here in the downtown Fuquay Varina. But there's a lot more to you that people might not know about. So, one, thanks for being on the podcast. And number two, help people understand what are all the fun things that you get to do outside of just Quaint Plaza.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to appreciate, it's my pleasure to be on this show. Wonderful show. Chamber has invested a fantastic opportunity for the business owners to talk about themselves, about their business. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Brad, for your time, having me here. So Quaint Plaza is something which I was dreaming of back in 2016 when I bought a grocery store in Morrisville. That place was a dead place, no customers walking in. Then eventually, when I bought that place, people said, hey, you invested your money in a wrong place. I'm not a businessman, but I'm an entrepreneur. I try to solve the problem. Byproduct is money either way. Everybody need vitamin M, stands for money. So if you solve the problem,
Vitamin M.
yeah, if you solve the problem, vitamin N flows in, right? So then we started solving the problems for the community. Grocery is not a traditional way of just buying and selling the goods. So we introduced the cafe, we introduced the meat section, and even for produce, a lot of people sell the produce in a raw form once you get from a farmer. We bought a produce cutting machine, automated machine. So we started selling the fresh produce, a cutted vegetable, at the same cost as the fresh vegetable. What that translates into a problem, what problem we are trying to solve. Most of the housewives, working women in Indian community, they cook meal every day. The amount of time for cooking versus the amount of time preparing for cooking, cutting the vegetables is almost same. So that solved a lot of people problem, and a lot of people started walking in. It's not only that. We eat rice and we eat chapati, which is like a bread. So average family with a size of 4 consumes anywhere between 10 to 14 per day. And the amount of time they take to make those 10 to 14 rotis or tortillas is about anywhere 30 minutes to 45 minutes. You come to Sangam Mart, we put a fresh roti maker machine, tortilla making machine, and we sell 10 chapatis for $3.49. Even if you buy the ingredients and spend that time, they're still saving the time and the money. The context of talking about solving the problem is people never saw the dollar amount what we were looking at. They saw the problem we are solving. That's why it keep coming, most of the forced bachelors, as I said, when we come to this country, a lot of our loved ones back in there. So the amount of frequency we go back to India once in a year, twice in a year. So most of the spouses goes back, one spouse stays back and working. Cooking is a challenging stuff. So we started introducing the pre-cooked meal, like a curries. Again, for $6, he can eat for 2 meals. That's literally $3 a meal, right? So time versus the money, again, we solved the problem. We made the money. So Sangam Mart is one of the popular store in Morrisville. We cater anywhere between 600 to 675 customers every day. Can you guess the size of the store? It's a 3,000 square foot retail store. I'm telling you, that's how my entrepreneur journey, inspires me every day to solve the problem rather than working in the business. I work on the businesses.
Yeah, and I love that. And I love that you are so open to sharing some of your learnings with others through some of the financial literature that you've created and the education pieces that you have. what inspired you to get into and tickle that entrepreneurial fancy, if you will? Because, it's one thing to look and find problems and see if you can come up with solutions. It's another to say, I want to do something about it, and then to take that exact thing you did in Morrisville and essentially replicate it here in Fuquay, but then continue to expand beyond that. What were some of the either desires or inspirations that get you excited about being an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I'm not an MBA, Marty. I'm not a wealthy guy to start with. All of us has one common thing: the hungry to make sure you're safe, your family is safe, and your community is safe. Just to make sure you have a basic fulfillments of the needs. I'm not even talking about wants, the needs. So that's where your real journey starts. And when, again, going back to Sangam Mart story, when we started that, as I said, the place was dead. But once this started growing, I see a lot of other pop-up shops popped up next to me. Everybody's doing great job. It's because customers who are walking into one store love to go around, hop around, check around. That strike me in a big way. That's the reason I've been hunting it for a place for last 3-4 years in this area. The reason being the cost of the homes in Morrisville and Cary reached to an extent where a median income from, a lot of people not able to afford the home in Morrisville. They started moving to Fuquay, right? And a lot of customers who are coming to Sangam Mart, coming all the way 29 miles, 30 miles from here to Morrisville, come to my store, keep asking the same question. When are you opening one more store there? So that started me to start looking for a space. Then I started looking for the space. Luckily, the listing, defense and hardware, I believe there's a destiny for me. God gave me an opportunity to land up in a wonderful town. I'm telling you, this is my home. I come every day here from Cary. I though literally live in Cary, but most of my awake time is in Fuquay now. That building, once I saw it, it was 50,000 square foot. Can you believe, Brad? It's a 50,000 square foot sitting idle in downtown. Are you kidding me? Then all these thoughts, Sangam Mart, multiple stores next door, why can't I create a diverse based culture in one place? So one customer coming to my store can be a walk-in customer for other stores. That's where the Quaint Plaza comes into the picture, and the idea behind of it is to get people together, celebrate each other cultures. Human being is like never ends up in one location. We are migrating. The birds migrate. Other day, I read an article. An eagle with a camera or a GPS traveled 42,000 kilometers. 42,000 kilometers. And the path she took was not over the sea. She took over the land because she can stop wherever she wants where there is a water. See, if a bird can think of migration in a better way, we migrate different locations for our convenience and better life of life. Make sense?
Yeah. I love that, and I love that the inspiration behind it is based in community, families, helping people to navigate some of that a little bit easier.
Right.
You mentioned as an entrepreneur, problem solver. I imagine there were some challenges you faced of like noticing, hey, this is a successful business. We've got a great concept, but now how do we take that and do it in Fuquay? So what are some of the challenges that you faced along the way to try and get to the spot now where it's open and you've got people moving in and taking care and helping the community?
See, again, it's when you have a first generation business, it's same problem. I would say the biggest challenge is the mindset, the skepticism, unlearning yourself about the money, getting the mindset straight about the money. So when we talk about money, what is the immediate picture gets into your mind? Do you get any picture in your mind as soon as we talk about money?
I mean, I visualize the actual physical money and then like what it can do for you, whether it's put food on the table, enjoy fun things, going out on vacation, things like that. So that's what kind of comes into my mind.
So you build up a mindset towards money with a frame of mindset. When was the last time you confronted your money mindset?
Yeah, been a long time for me.
That's a very key because our mindset decides our habits. Our habits decides our entire lifestyle, right? So what are the money mindset we have? We talk about scarcity mindset. A lot of people think when the money comes into your account, if it goes out, it never comes back. That's a scarcity mindset, right? When you talk about evil mindset, why the hell only rich people make money? Why all these bad things happens to my money? That's an evil mindset, right?
Right.
Then you talk about abundance mindset. Money will come, you put your effort, byproduct is money. You can invest the money, money makes money, abundance mindset. What defines this? This defines your habits. What kind of habits? Saving habits, spending habits, investing habits. So if you change your money story, then the whole game changes. So my money, when I started unlearning about money and started learning about money, how to scale the business, that's where the biggest challenge went through it. Again, we all talk about cash flow is king, but leadership is the kingdom. You know, so I believe in building systems and leadership. Those were the challenges I was facing, then addressed with systems and building people.
Yeah, I think that's so relatable to so many entrepreneurs
Right.
because so many times they get in their own way
Yes, sir.
because they have scarcity mindset. Somebody moved in down the road who's in the same business as
Right.
me, or the customers aren't coming as freely, and then we
Right.
get really constricted and confined. So I think the ability to challenge that mindset and help create the narrative and the story that is actually going to show, hey, I have an abundance mindset. The way I think about money and the way I think about business is going to help me to thrive.
Right.
I love that there's that component to it, and that's
Yes,
what
sir.
you focus on more than finding a building, finding
Right.
tenants. It's like the mindset pushes everything in the right
Look at
direction.
it. I believe in community entrepreneurship rather than anything else. I was always open. All my tenants, most of them are brand new micro entrepreneurs who I offered them at the lowest possible lease rate for next 3 years. I want them to excel. How does it work? In what way I'm contributing to community through the Quaint Plaza? Imagine 600 people. Right now it's about 400 to 450 every day walking into Angadi just with one grocery store open. Imagine once everything opens up, and with the numbers I have with Sangam Mart in Morrisville, I'm assuming only grocery cafe meat is going to be 1,000 people walking in every day. Imagine you have an idea, 100 people, just 10% of these people can walk into your store. Average ticket price is $30, 3,000 a day. You're building you're building 100,000 per month income revenue based business in a small 500 800 square foot business. So I would say it's a plain ready to sell product for micro entrepreneurs. They don't feel the way I failed in some of my business in early stage. They don't need to go through that. This ecosystem, right? The branding, it's right in the middle of the downtown, right?
Yeah.
So now look at I love Fat and Cat. I love ice cream, man. I just keep opening his shop. So he saw the potential. Now he's moving in, and everybody, kids are kids, brother. Doesn't matter where they're from, right? They love ice cream. So people who are coming to the tutoring center in the first suite, what we have, people are hopping for ice cream. Just right now, they're crossing the road and going to Fat and Kind, the other side. Now it's right in there. Parent doesn't have an option now.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I mean, and Stevenson Hardware has a little bit of a history in
Yes,
Fuquay
sir.
Varina,
Yes, sir.
and many of us saw it just sitting idle for
Right.
so many years, or used for not really business things, or just and it basically sat where nobody really went in there. And you saw that opportunity, and so tell us. So Quaint Plaza, this is a great venture,
Right.
and you mentioned Fat Cat homemade ice cream moving into that.
Right.
You've also got some other
Yes,
businesses
sir.
moving in there. So tell us about this Quaint Plaza, because
So,
it's creating excitement here in Fuquay
right,
Varina.
absolutely. So, Quaint, where did you get this word from? Just go to Fuquay Varina town website. The first word I would say, starts with the quaint town transformed to the. You read it when you get a chance. So the quaint, I picked up the quaint. I like it. The quaint is old-fashioned thing turning to be a great thing, right? So Quaint Plaza, I don't want to lose that historical Stephenson, what I would tell you, Marty, anybody who's walking in have some kind of connection to that building. Some point of time in their life, including my people who work for me, has some connection to this building back in 20 years, 30 years. Their home, most of their home was built using the material which was sold by the Stephens Hardware. See, I don't want to lose the thing, right? So Quaint Plaza is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to get together, celebrate in the downtown. Right now we have a learning center, QIQ, is one catering K to 12 SAT courses. They're doing fabulous job. They have a great name across the country. Then we have our fitness center. Mr. Corey started Better Strength Company in the back. We have Angadi Indian grocery store with cave and meat. And the upcoming projects is Fat Cat, which is opening very soon. Then we have a tap station. Again, I don't do a traditional business. I'm part of the tap station called Hoppy Tales. Every drink has a story. And this is like the customer has all the options at his own way of doing it. Like you go, there are 20, 30 self-pouring taps. As soon as you walk in, they give you a RFID tag. You just go there, customer goes in there, just put the RFID tag to the pouring machine, the tap, and pours even for ounce, 2 ounce. They want to taste it, right? Instead of tasting 16 ounce and felt nothing good, they just taste 2 ounce, get billed for only 2 ounce. So the technology is involved, and they have wide variety of options. So Hoppy Tales is the other thing which is coming in. Right across the Hoppy Tales, there would be a Virtue Alley. Virtue Alley is more of a golf simulator, and virtual. There are 5 stations for kids to have virtual games, all ages, not just kids. People who are having a beer wants to have hangout. They have a next door which is ready with golf simulator, a little conference room for little birthday parties, and 5 stations for virtual. You just keep walking onto the right side. You see there's a country called Nepal, which is right next to India. They are very famous food in momos. So momo is one food, traditional food they're bringing into the mall. Then we have a fried chicken place, Yum Kitchen. This is again is a young entrepreneur buddy who wants to do something innovative for catering, finger foods, fried chicken, and all that stuff. Then we have a pizzatarian and a sandwich shop. So any customer who are walking in to Quaint Plaza, I'm telling you, you won't leave that place without eating something. You like it either one or the other one, but again, it's a beautiful place. It's coming up good. Probably takes another 6 months to see everything, you know, opened up and start running.
Yeah, so this is a work in progress,
Yes.
and I will certainly speak to this. Is that you've been going great guns and trying to get everything going.
Right.
It certainly is a challenge to take an old building,
Yes.
right, and turn it into something new and doing it right, and that makes
I'm telling you, Marty, I need to appreciate the town of Fuquay. They are very cooperative. They understand the whole concept. At the end of the day, what are we trying to do? Safety is the most important thing. We need to follow the guidelines. They are ensuring that building is old. They want to make sure it's up to the code. There's no safety issue. I really appreciate their support so far.
Yeah, and that's huge to have get through all that with
Right.
the different things that can be in an old
Right.
building you deal with. So you're creating this. What makes your Quaint Plaza going to be different than maybe other plazas that people might go and entertain themselves or shop? But what's the difference you say that?
The diversity, the downtown Verena need diversity. It's not just only brewery or just drinking, just eating some sort of. It's like people have options now. It brings the culture to it. It makes sure it introduces you to the new culture too. So 5 years ago, how many of Indians you see in this town compared to what you see now? So the culturally, the town is growing. It's multicultural, diversified people, diversity in terms of population. So it's like the people are legal migrated people from small town to the big town. Doesn't matter. It's country doesn't mean just boundaries. People migration doesn't mean that country to country. I born in a small village back in India, migrated to a city nearby for get a better education, then moved to a better city for a job, then moved to a country, a land of opportunity, the golden opportunity. I'm so blessed. Out of 1.4 billion, probably there are only 4 million or 5 million Indians. So I'm one of them. I'm so lucky, right? And with the grace of God, with the country where I'm law of land, we got a great opportunities. We are migrating. So when people migrate from different locations, they need to have options. I believe in that. And a lot of people who stop by right now on Gadi says, "Hey, you're saving my 40 minutes drive from here to Apex, there." So that's why tutoring, all the way from tutoring, learning to eating ice cream, eating Indian food, other food, getting fitness strength, getting boost with happiness.
Well, you got to have a beer
You
after you
name
work
it.
out.
I'm
I
telling
think,
you.
yeah, that's what you do, right?
So it has all the solution in one place.
Yeah, that's
unique,
fantastic. You're doing so much for the what you described, the micro entrepreneurs who are moving into Quaint Plaza. Tell us about any other community involvement things that either through Quaint Plaza or you individually are working on.
Right. So I'm a certified financial education instructor. My intention of getting that certification is to make sure I empower people. This all comes with education and empowerment. Most of the community entrepreneurship, it's involved in educating the people. So I do a lot of financial workshop, free financial workshops to make sure they confront their financial reality. 90% of the people doesn't know how much they need for the rest of their life. 90% of the people doesn't understand the basics of how much they're making, where these numbers are disappearing. All this money is going where? And they have a big dreams, big goals. Until unless you know your numbers, it's very tough to manage your numbers, isn't it? Personal finance, I picked one of the topic where I can start empowering the people, go after helping them to make them realize. That's where this writing books came into the picture. I started with from paycheck to break that cycle into the prosperity. So the title is From Paycheck to Prosperity. Whole logic is doing the workshop on this book to make sure people, even if one person get influenced, get their financial discipline back in their life, creates their generational wealth, that's my pure legacy.
I love it. And one of the things that really stands out to me is how much you do truly care about helping entrepreneurs get on their feet
Right.
and try and take dream to reality. Along those lines, you've obviously worked with a number of entrepreneurs and doing the classes. What are some of the things that you would encourage or share as words of wisdom with somebody who's maybe an aspiring entrepreneur? They have an idea, they've got something that they would love to try and make a reality. What would you maybe tell them either to start, or what are some of the tips you'd give them?
So people is the rarest commodity in the world for any business. People, if you don't understand the people. So first you need to work with the people, then you need to build the systems. System is the key. System saves you from yourself. Sometimes when you get successful, too much successful in the shortest time, we think whatever we did is absolutely right. But the system is a checks and balances thing, which makes you sure, hey, you missed one checklist, bro. Whatever the answer you got, whatever the successful, probably it's a temporary. But if you believe in a proven system, that builds really very well for the business. And number two, the biggest thing is a lot of business entrepreneurs or owners work in the business rather than work on the business. If you get that circus of getting into the business, it's very tough for you to accept any new ideas. But you work on the business, you listen to your mentor, you're open up for the big things, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is a huge concept. One, understand people are going to make or break essentially the business that you're trying to create.
Right.
And then two, that ability to reach out to others and work on your business. You've got a couple books table side here. And
Right.
so for our listeners at home, if you're not able to see it on the video, I'd love you to share a little bit about what are some of the ways in which you've created resources for entrepreneurs as well as other individuals to try and gain some mindset perspective as it relates to finances and helping them. So what are some of the different resources you've created?
So I have. It's a funny story. Last 4.5 years, I started this financial services journey. After did so many financial workshops and one-on-one, I understood a lot of people does not have the basic understanding of how the money works, how the personal finances really, how important to have that. Then I started writing a book, which is about 18 to 12, 24 months. It's about 325 pages. Then one of my friends said, we are living in an era where our attention span time is 7 seconds, 8 seconds in TikTok and all this latest technology. Do you think anybody has time to read 325 pages? Then I said, okay, considered. Then I broke that one book, into four and added a little bit to understand the wider audience. So I have wrote 4 books which talks about all the way from breaking a paycheck to paycheck for US residents, one for India, who are working in India for Indian people. The third, the most of our like me, migrated from India to here. So they need financial wisdom. So I read a book called Financial Wisdom for Non-Resident Indians, people who are living abroad. They don't know, everybody's getting old, Marty. Some point of time, parents are getting old, properties need to be handled properly, investments need to be handled properly. So the legal system facilitated us to do the things right. A lot of people, lack of information, are dealing in different ways and ending up in trouble. So this book, Financial Wisdom for NRS, make them understand how important to have basic fundamental way to open a bank account, what type of bank account you need to open, how to transfer the money from here to there, there to here, basic common sense, right? And end of the day, everybody has a golden sunset, don't you think? So what is my golden sunset? This is very close to my heart. So I'm a 45 years old guy. I lived up to 22, 23, 24 back in my home. So if you ask me, where is my home? Where I'm going to be? My kids born here, my elder born here, younger born there, eventually naturalized U.S. citizen, settled in this country. Where is my home? This is my home. Whether you accept it or not, this is my home. A lot of people have this question, dilemma, because your siblings, most of us have siblings. You're the only guy who came to here, leaving everybody. So you have memories back in when you grew up. So you define yourself as home. But the kind of advanced culture we grew up here, settled with a process system oriented, law abiding citizen, all of a sudden you leave this comfort zone environment and you go back there. People also moved, right? So where is your connectivity? It lasts 20 years, lasts a decade especially. All my friends, all my parties, everything happens here. All my community is here. So the question which comes, is it your golden sunset is a dilemma or a predefined goal?
Mm-hmm.
So these books help them to clarify what kind of healthcare expenses, what kind of facility, what we have here, what's in there, how to handle it. So it clears clarity, trying to get a clarity, because 20 years ago, the number of immigrants from India versus now, that first generation is getting ready for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in a unique situation. People need a lot of guidance, even that age. I'm telling you. So I'm a small particle in an ocean, but I'm trying to do something contribution back to the community so that they can start understand, get them enlightened about what needs to be considered before making that big move, right? My boys are here. I may not know they're going to be with me. Maybe they might be in Virginia, they might be in California, they might end up in NC. I'm so happy if they stay with me. But I should call it myself a home. And I have a home in North Carolina. I have a home in Fuquay Varina.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So tell us about, we've talked a lot about your business and your interest in being an author. What are some other favorite local spots that you have? Where do you hang out?
I love banana split ice cream
Oh.
with vanilla and chocolate and fat and cadman. I'm telling you, every time I get an opportunity, I just show up there. Then they'll say, "What? You going to eat this much ice cream?" Yes, I love it, man. So not only that, anything, as I said, I'm a more community entrepreneurship support guy. I love to support mom and pop shops across in the downtown. Wherever I see they put a lot of hard work, they have a dream. Whatever the way we can contribute, I'm telling you, Marty, that will take you and your kids long way, right? So I love having ice cream at Fat and Cat.
That's fantastic, and we certainly love the fact that you're supporting all the local businesses.
Right.
That is huge. So what is some of the best advice that you've ever received in terms of business?
The best advice I say again, I'm telling you, business, you should work on the business, not in the business. That's the best ever. Number two, people might move. Everybody's moving from one role to the other role. They need a better life. But the system can replace the people. Simple. But the latest thing I heard from one of the conference was AI, how you look at AI. There are only two things. A person, AI cannot replace anybody's job just like that. But a person who knows AI can replace your job. So you look at AI as an assistant or a competitor. I would treat that as an assistant. Let me use my AI assistant and start building my businesses rather than competing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no sense in fighting
Yeah.
technology because you're going to lose to it every
Yeah,
time.
there
Absolutely.
are only two types of jobs going forward. One, a person who listens to AI how to do the job. Two, a person who tells AI how to do the job. I would rather pick the second one,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, is there any other surprising fact about the businesses that you're in? And there's so many, right? But
Right.
is there any surprising fact about the business that you do?
Surprising, I own a staffing firm. That's my bread and butter. So I'm into retail, real estate, staffing, personal finance, grocery stores, especially Angadi and Sangam, have food trucks. So this diversified industrial experience helps me to understand opposite person needs to build a system. My happiest moment would be if I build a system, somebody uses and grows their generational wealth. That's all my ultimate goal.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. And one of the things that I know I've certainly enjoyed is the different ways in which you're supporting the community, supporting entrepreneurs. So for those who are interested in connecting with you, what would you recommend, or where would you point people to try and gain some insight from you?
If you're living in Fuquay Varina, please stop by at Quaint Plaza, 405 Broad Street, Fuquay Varina, 27526. And online, I'm always available. My name, Radhesh, RADHESHREDDY.com. That's my personal website. My social media links are in there. Please hop up for following. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn for financial tips.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned how exciting it is with the upcoming additions to Quaint Plaza. So any other, whether you want to think of them as events, promotions, anything coming up that you'd like to share with the community?
Once all the shops open in Quaint Plaza, down the line, I'm assuming it's going to be end of December 2025. So I want to blast a New Year party after opening everything. So we're working towards it. But other than that, please stop by every week at Angadi. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some special is going on the food feast. And as soon as the ice cream opens, every day is festival for me, people like me,
So we've pretty much identified that Radhesh loves ice cream. So that's going to be a big thing. So I want to thank you so much for being here, Radhesh. And we're going to have your website here at the end in the credits.
Yes, sir.
We'll have the website out there for you. And I want to say thank you to our listeners. Join us each week on the Better Together podcast from the Fuquay Varina Chamber of Commerce as we highlight great local businesses. From the Dashmore Conference Room and Studio, sponsored by Rescue Wood Rehab, I am Marty.
And I'm Brad.
And we are Better Together.
We're better together. It's a weekly podcast. We're better together. You should know that there's more in the dash. We're better together. Fuquay Varina, Chamber of Commerce. We're better together podcast.